At the age of 43, when most athletes choose comfort over challenge and reflection over risk, Dave Bautista chose a different path, stepping forward with quiet determination into a moment that would test not just his physical ability but his inner resolve. Because this was never about proving something to the world, it was about answering a question within himself that had followed him through every chapter of his life. A question shaped by discipline, persistence, and the refusal to settle for limits placed by age or expectation. And as he walked toward the cage that night, carrying years of experience from different arenas of competition, he carried something even heavier: the responsibility to honor preparation, respect the sport, and embrace growth without fear, knowing that across from him stood Vince Lucero, a seasoned competitor whose journey was defined by experience, resilience, and the wisdom earned through countless tests, making this encounter not a clash of personalities but a meeting of paths, one defined by legacy and one defined by consistency. And as the moment drew closer, the energy inside the arena reflected something deeper than anticipation, because people were not just watching a debut, they were witnessing a reminder that reinvention has no expiration date, that commitment does not fade with time, and that true courage lies in choosing challenge even when success is not guaranteed. And when the action began, it became clear that preparation speaks louder than reputation, as movement, control, and composure took center stage, demonstrating that progress is built through patience, focus, and respect for the process. And by the time the moment reached its conclusion, what remained was not controversy or doubt but clarity. Clarity that stepping into unfamiliar territory with honesty and discipline is itself a victory, and that growth is measured not only by outcomes but by the willingness to begin again. And if this story resonated with you, if it reminded you that determination can rewrite timelines and effort can redefine limits, then show your support by liking this video, sharing it with someone who believes growth has an age limit, subscribing for more inspiring stories of discipline and courage, and leaving a comment about what pushing beyond comfort truly means to you. The journey toward that night was shaped by quiet mornings and exhausting evenings where consistency mattered more than recognition, because preparation is rarely glamorous and growth often happens far from applause. And for Dave Bautista, this phase represented a return to fundamentals, showing up daily with humility, listening more than speaking, learning movements that demanded balance, timing, and patience rather than power alone, and embracing the idea that mastery begins with being a student, not a star. While every session reinforced the same lesson that progress is built through repetition and respect. And as his body adapted to new rhythms and his mind adjusted to new challenges, confidence began to form not from expectation but from evidence, from knowing that effort had been honest and dedication had been complete. And at the same time, Vince Lucero followed his own familiar path, grounded in experience and routine, carrying the calm assurance of someone who had faced countless moments of uncertainty and learned to trust preparation above prediction, making this matchup less about spectacle and more about perspective, a meeting point between renewal and continuity. And as fight night approached, the atmosphere reflected a shared understanding that moments like these are rare not because of what they promise but because of what they require, requiring patience, courage, and the willingness to accept whatever outcome unfolds. And when both athletes entered the arena, the focus was clear, not on external noise but on the task ahead, where movement, awareness, and control became expressions of discipline rather than aggression. And as the contest progressed, each exchange highlighted the value of staying present, responding with intention, and respecting the rhythm of the moment, showing that composure under pressure is a skill earned through preparation, not circumstance. And through it all, the message remained consistent, that growth does not demand perfection, only commitment, and that stepping forward with sincerity transforms uncertainty into opportunity, leaving behind a reminder that true strength is revealed when individuals choose progress over comfort and purpose over hesitation. As the moment unfolded further, the exchange became a reflection of patience meeting persistence, where movement was guided by awareness rather than urgency, and each adjustment carried intention shaped by countless hours of preparation, showing that calm focus can exist even when pressure rises. And in that space, both athletes demonstrated respect for the process by staying grounded, listening to their instincts, and responding with control rather than impulse, allowing experience and preparation to quietly speak through action. And as the contest continued, the rhythm shifted naturally, highlighting how adaptability becomes a form of strength, not through force but through timing and positioning, reinforcing the idea that true confidence is not loud but steady. And within that flow, the atmosphere transformed from anticipation to appreciation, as observers recognized that they were witnessing more than competition. They were witnessing dedication expressed through discipline. And when the sequence reached its turning point, it did so without chaos, emphasizing that progress often arrives through alignment rather than resistance. leaving a lasting impression that meaningful challenges are navigated by those willing to stay composed, trust their work, and move forward with respect for both themselves and the journey that brought them there. As the encounter moved toward its conclusion, what stood out most was not a single action but the way intention guided every moment, reflecting how preparation turns uncertainty into clarity and effort into confidence. And within that space the years of work, learning, and self-belief quietly aligned, allowing movement to remain purposeful and decisions to stay measured, demonstrating that growth reveals itself when discipline is trusted under pressure. And as the final moments approached, there was a shared understanding that the journey itself carried meaning beyond the outcome, because choosing to step forward with commitment already represented success. And when the moment settled, it left behind a sense of fulfillment rooted in respect for the process, respect for the challenge, and respect for the courage it takes to begin something new, reinforcing a powerful truth that personal evolution does not depend on age or expectation but on the willingness to engage fully with opportunity, remain present through challenge, and honor effort with consistency, leaving a lasting reminder that determination guided by humility creates moments that inspire far beyond the moment itself.
What followed after the moment had settled was a deeper realization that true achievement often reveals itself quietly, through reflection rather than celebration. As both individuals carried forward not just the experience of competition, but the understanding that dedication shapes identity more powerfully than any single result. And for Dave Bautista, this chapter became a continuation of a lifelong pattern of choosing growth over ease, where each stage of his journey had required humility, learning, and the courage to start again from the ground up. And this willingness to embrace discomfort became the foundation of personal progress, reminding everyone watching that reinvention is not a rejection of the past, but an expansion of it. While Vince Lucero's presence added another layer of meaning, representing consistency, resilience, and the value of experience earned through persistence rather than recognition. And together, their encounter stood as an example of how respect transforms competition into connection, showing that meaningful challenges are not about dominance, but about discovery. And as the atmosphere gradually shifted from intensity to reflection, it became clear that moments like these resonate because they echo universal truths. That preparation builds confidence, that patience sharpens judgment, and that effort remains valuable regardless of outcome, creating inspiration that extends beyond the arena into everyday life, where individuals face their own versions of uncertainty and choice. And through this lens, the experience evolved into a reminder that discipline is a language understood across all pursuits, spoken through consistency, awareness, and self-respect. And as time passed, the significance of the moment continued to grow, not as a highlight frozen in memory, but as a living example of how commitment reshapes identity, reinforcing the belief that growth is not limited by age, background, or expectation, but guided by the willingness to engage fully. Stay present through challenge, move forward with intention and integrity. As the story continued to unfold beyond the immediate moment, its meaning expanded in ways that reached far past the arena and into the shared human experience of striving, learning, and evolving. Because what truly lingered was not a single exchange or result, but the clarity that comes from honoring effort with sincerity. And for Dave Bautista, this phase became another chapter in a life defined by transformation, where each reinvention required setting aside comfort and embracing the humility of learning anew, reinforcing the idea that strength is not fixed, but developed through patience and consistency. And this understanding resonated deeply as people reflected on how commitment reshapes perspective, reminding them that progress is built quietly through daily choices rather than dramatic gestures. While the presence of Vince Lucero continued to symbolize steadiness and experience, showing how resilience is cultivated through perseverance and respect for the journey. And together, their paths illustrated that meaningful challenges are not about comparison, but about contribution, offering a shared example of how discipline and focus create moments that inspire others to pursue growth in their own lives. And as time passed, the encounter came to represent something larger than competition, becoming a reminder that courage appears in many forms, often as the willingness to step forward without certainty, to trust preparation without guarantee, and to value the process as much as the destination. And through this lens, the narrative gained lasting relevance, encouraging reflection on how dedication shapes character, how persistence nurtures confidence, and how staying present through challenge allows individuals to discover capabilities they may not have known existed, reinforcing the timeless truth that progress belongs to those who choose effort over ease and intention over hesitation. And as these reflections settled, they left behind a sense of quiet motivation, inviting anyone listening to consider their own unfinished goals and unexplored potential, and to recognize that growth remains possible wherever commitment is embraced with honesty, patience, and respect for the journey ahead. As the narrative moved forward, its impact deepened through the understanding that moments of challenge often serve as mirrors, reflecting not only preparation, but purpose. And this realization highlighted how dedication transforms uncertainty into direction, allowing individuals to move with clarity even when outcomes remain unknown. And for those observing, the story became an invitation to reconsider their own boundaries, recognizing that discipline practiced consistently creates confidence that carries into every arena of life. While the example set through commitment and respect emphasized that progress is rarely sudden but steadily earned through mindful effort. And this perspective resonated because it aligned with a universal truth that growth is shaped by choices made repeatedly rather than decisions made once. And as reflections continued, the experience stood as a reminder that meaningful pursuits are sustained by patience, guided by learning, and strengthened through perseverance, offering encouragement to anyone facing a new beginning to trust the process. Remain present through challenge and move forward with intention, knowing that every step taken with sincerity contributes to a journey defined not by limits, but by possibility.